Reggie Miller, Hall of Famer, Turner Sports NBA analyst. Reg on the call with Kevin Harlan this Thursday night at 10:30 Eastern on TNT. The 76ers at the Warriors. And Reg joins us now. Kind of an interesting last 24 hours there, Reg. What do you make of all of this Anthony Davis stuff?
Well, didn't we kind of see the writing on the wall? You know, as soon as he had signed with Clutch Sports and Rich Paul, I think we all knew. You know, we probably couldn't say it publicly, but we knew that his Anthony Davis time in New Orleans was going to be limited. And
well,
now
you
it's
hinted
official.
at this though last week, and you said, you know, I'm hearing something there, you know, but we didn't know to what degree. But it felt like you thought that there was, you know, impending doom here for the Pelicans with Anthony Davis.
Look, it's been a tough 10 days for New Orleans. It really has, between the no call and then now you have arguably the best player in franchise history wanting out. If you're a resident of New Orleans, it's very difficult. But now I'm going to wear two hats here. For 18 years in a small market, it saddens me, because how are smaller markets ever going to compete with the big boys? So I'm saddened at that aspect. But then I put my media hat on, and what people want to know most of the time, did he win a championship? Did he compete at the highest level? And if Anthony Davis wants to compete for a championship, it's not going to be in New Orleans. He's going to have to go to Boston, L.A., so Golden State, that's just what it is. The media and fans alike, it's nice that I played 18 years in one organization. People say that all the time, but people also say, but he never won a championship. And I think that's what these guys are starting to understand. As much as we want to pile on KD, leaving OKC, being up 3-1 against the defending champs, and then losing, and then the very next season, you know, jumping on a plane and heading to San Francisco, he's won back-to-back championships and been Finals MVP twice. So his legacy, I think that's what he wants to build. So I don't want to hear about, oh, where's the loyalty in sports? I get it. I understand. And it hurts me. Trust me. It does sicken me, because there's no way these smaller markets can compete. But you guys can't flip it and say, well, did he ever win a championship?
Yeah.
Well, he wants to win and compete for a championship, and I think that's what we're seeing.
Okay, what's the Lakers' game plan? What would your game plan be if you're Magic Johnson?
I would call Rich Paul and say, how can this happen? I would call New Orleans. What do you want? We'll give you everyone other than LeBron James. We'll throw in Rob Pelinka if you want to. We'll throw in Laker girls if you want.
Whoa.
What is it going to take for us to get Anthony Davis? And if I'm Anthony Davis and Rich Paul, do you want Boston in play here? Because Boston's not in play until the offseason. How badly do you want to get to L.A., or do you really want to see the open market? Think about this. We're going to have Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, all in the Western Conference if Anthony Davis goes there. Think about it. Think about all the stars that are out west. There is no parity anymore, which is another thing that gets on my nerves. The Eastern Conference is just decimated.
But it's also bad for ratings, Reg. The ratings are down, and you have
terrible.
Yeah, so the West Coast games, and I said at the beginning of the year they should start the Laker games earlier, just because you want to bring in the East Coast audience. And we've seen, you know, there's no tune-in, must-see factor East Coast basketball.
Again, it's I get it. I understand it, AD, and I can't fault that. You know, I had piled on with Kevin Durant when he first made that move. I thought it was a sucker move, but I understand it, and I understand why he did it, and he's right. I mean, I don't think they would have ever won a championship with him and Westbrook in OKC. So he made a business decision, and it is a business, people.
Yeah.
And he is one of those players that are he's a legacy player. When we think of Kevin Durant when his career is done, he's a legacy player. LeBron, a legacy player. And right now, he is building a heck of a resume, and I get it.
But it feels like this is all LeBron. So LeBron and his agent represents Anthony Davis. So LeBron is sort of, the puppeteer. He's the one that's going, okay, I think we're going to get rid of Luke Walton. I don't have any loyalty to any of these young kids. I want to get an Anthony Davis in here because Anthony can help me win at least one more title. My window of opportunity is I probably got 4 more years here to win maybe 1 or 2 more titles. It feels like that's what's going on behind the scenes. What do you make of that?
I will say this. LeBron and Anthony Davis alone will not win a championship. They will need a third person. Now, if you get Anthony Davis and then you're able to get like a Klay Thompson, a shooter, now you're into the discussion. But to get Anthony Davis, you're going to have to give away everyone. After that, it depends on the supporting players after that.
But if I get Anthony Davis, though, Reg, I can get that third person, right?
You can. But let me say this. What is going on now is going to put so much pressure on my mentor when I was at UCLA in Magic Johnson because this past offseason, Paul George didn't even want to take a meeting or a call from the Hall of Famer. This is a lot of I didn't say the Lakers were on the clock this season. I said the Lakers are really on the clock this coming summer. They got the big fish in LeBron, but how can now Magic, how can you attract Kawhi, Klay, Boogie Cousins, now Anthony Davis? How are you going to be able to get these free agents? Because you're Magic Johnson, you have that megawatt smile, you have the championships. Can you bring these guys in to play with LeBron and possibly Anthony Davis? But Anthony Davis alone and LeBron James are not going to win a championship. They need that third player.
Talking to Reggie Miller, the Hall of Famer. He's with Kevin Harlan Thursday night, 10:30 Eastern on TNT. 76ers at the Warriors. The Boogie Cousins experiment has worked quite nicely for Golden State. Doesn't seem fair, but is there anything to keep an eye on? Any issues with this team as we breeze through to the playoffs?
Well, success breeds a lot of things, and that is going to be once Boogie Cousins gets his game legs. Right now, he's 4 or 5 games into this, coming back from Achilles surgery. He doesn't have his game legs, and they're playing him anywhere between 18 to 24 minutes, depending on foul trouble and so forth. But once he gets in shape, Steve Kerr and them like to use that small death lineup, as they call it, with Draymond Green at 5. And a lot of times, Kevon Looney, who started all the way up until Boogie Cousins came back, they like to play Kevon Looney those closing minutes because they feel he's better defensively. How will Demarcus handle that? Being on the bench in closing moments when he's an all-star and he's looking, let's face it, to get paid next season. Will he be able to accept that role? From all indications from what I hear coming out of Warriors camp, he is all on board, and it looks like that. And I agree with you. It's not fair, but it's how the system was set up. But I want to see how he handles not being on the bench come end of April, starting into the playoffs, when they go to that small lineup, and he is not on the floor.
Yeah, that's a good take. By the way, Shaq, I think, is stopping by on Thursday. Do you think Shaq has any football ability whatsoever?
In what term? Depends. Offense or defense?
Like could he?
He would be a heck of an offensive lineman, right?
Could I throw him the ball? What do you think could he throw a football?
I'm sure he could throw a football. A perfect spiral? Probably not. I'd be more interested if he could catch a football.
Okay.
He has those big mitts, so.
Well, we're going to find out.
I hope you guys have like a real quarterback there to see if he can actually catch some balls. He can catch a round ball. I know that.
I'm the quarterback, Reg. I'm going to bring some heat on Thursday to Shaq.
I can't wait to see this. Oh, my goodness. Hey, put Paulie in front of him. See if he can stop him. Put Paulie in front of him.
Oh, my God. He'll want to. Trust me. Well, no, you always want to take on somebody.
Not always.
You do not. If you've never been around Shaq, he looks big. I mean, he really looks big. But when he's in person, It's like nothing. It almost looks like you created this, in green screen or 3D or something. Like Spielberg created this, is what it feels like when you're around Shaq. Like he's just.
And what's funny, gentlemen, as big as Theodore is describing how big Shaq is, the year that Yao Ming made the Hall of Fame and he asked Shaq to, walk him in, Yao swallows Shaq up. Those are the two biggest human beings on the planet as we speak. And as big as Shaq, every time I see Shaq, I'm like, I can't believe I had to set screens on this dude 50 times again. Like, how did my 145-pound body
Wait, Reggie, I have no video. We looked for video of you setting a screen on Shaq, and we could not find any.
Yes.
No.
I had to set screens on Shaquille O'Neal. Now, you might have to go back to skinny Shaq when he was in Orlando with Penny, because when I had to do it in the finals in 2000, I went to Larry Bird and said, look, unless you're coming out of retirement and you got Chief, I ain't setting screens on that 395-pound man, and Rick is not going to shoot the basketball.
Are you on the Rams bandwagon? Are you like a faux Rams fan on Super Bowl Sunday?
Absolutely not. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay. Number one, my 1A team growing up was the LA Raiders. Ken Stabler, Lester Hayes. Yeah. So I'm a number one Raiders fan. So obviously we never rooted for the Rams. And my 1B team, 18 years in Indiana, Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts, who always went head-to-head with Tom Brady and New England. So I could care less about these two teams. I don't care who wins. I'm watching the Super Bowl for the commercials.
Wow. That's harsh.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. I could care less who wins.
Okay.
If it's not the Raiders and if it's not the Colts, I could care less.
All right. Yeah. Thursday night.
I could not care less. Let me get that right. I could not care less.
Yeah. People always make that mistakes because if I could care less, that means you care a little bit. But I couldn't. I couldn't. Not in there.
I could not.
Could not
care less.
Could not.
I could not care less.
All right. Thursday night, 10:30 Eastern on TNT. The 76ers at the Warriors. Oh, good luck selling that one.
That's a good game.
Yeah, but Jimmy Butler's out.
Hopefully he'll be back. Hopefully. But you still got Embiid, right? You got to love Embiid. And Boogie.
You know what would be great? Maybe Ben Simmons attempts a three.
Oh, I will die. If he ever makes the three on air, I'm telling you, I'm dropping my headset, and I'm walking onto the floor, and I'm giving him a hug. If he makes the three during our game, I'm stopping the broadcast. I'm walking on court, and I'm giving him a hug.
Reg, I said attempt a three. I didn't say make a three.
No, who cares about attempting if he makes a three?
Do you realize
the telecast has stopped?
A couple of years ago, I said to Brooke Lopez, would you shoot a three for me in the All-Star game? And he did at the very end. And now look at him. He's made at least 1 3 in, I think, 30 consecutive games. I changed a man's life, Reggie. I did it. And I can do it with Ben Simmons.
And right now you're putting it into the universe for Ben Simmons. I like it, yes. Theodore. I like it.
And I helped him hook up with a Jenner, which that wasn't as hard as him trying to make a three. But I can do
hold on. Wait, are you trying to tell me you're the matchmaker to the stars right now? You hooked those two up?
You know what? I got to wrap. Is it time to go to commercial break?
Got to go, boss.
I'd love to get in that with you, Reg, but I can't. Safe travels, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Theodore. And I love you, Danettes. Great energy in that building with the fans there. You guys are awesome.
That's Reggie Aloysius Miller Jr. III.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.